A baby is born. It is 20,000 years ago. From the first minute, that baby will be held, fed, comforted, and protected by many hands. Not just the mother, the grandmother, the aunts, the older children, even some of the men. This was not progressive. This was normal. The modern version is the experiment. Human babies are demanding. They cry at night. They need to be carried. They cannot regulate their own temperature. They need to be fed often, including through the night. They take years to walk, more years to talk, and even longer to do useful work. Compared to almost any other mammal, the human baby is an absurd amount of work for an absurd length of time. So how did humans, who are not particularly large or strong, manage to raise babies successfully for hundreds of thousands of years? The short answer is that we did not raise them alone. We almost never did. The isolated parent with baby model, common in modern Western homes, is anthropologically strange. Across the deep human past, the picture is different. Babies were raised by many people. This is sometimes called alloparenting, care provided by individuals other than the biological parents. To see what this meant, follow one baby's day. At dawn, the baby is against the mother. Warm skin, milk, breath. The mother knows the small movements before the crying starts. She feeds often, sometimes for years. But she also has work to do, food to gather, fire to tend, tools to repair. So the baby does not stay in one pair of arms all day. By morning, the grandmother has the baby. She bounces him on one hip while she works. She watches the toddler near the fire. She knows which cry means hunger and which cry means tired. This is why the grandmother hypothesis matters. A grandmother who helps gather food, watch children, and free the mother can help more grandchildren survive. Later, an older child takes over. Maybe a sister, maybe a cousin. 7 or 8 years old enough to carry for a while, sing a song, pull the baby away from danger. This is learning by doing. By the time that child becomes a parent, babies are not a mystery. They have already held, fed, soothed, and watched younger children for years. At midday, the father or other men may be near. The pattern varies by culture. In some societies, fathers carry and soothe infants often. In others, men become more involved as children grow. There is no single human father pattern. But men being absent from infant life is not a universal rule. Some babies knew their father's arms, voices, and sleeping bodies very well. In the afternoon, other women pass through the baby's world. Aunts, co-wives, neighbors, cousins, elders. One lifts the baby while the mother eats. Another plays with him. Another keeps him out of smoke. A hunter-gatherer baby might be touched, held, teased, fed, and comforted by many adults in one day. The baby learns many faces, many smells, many voices. Attachment spreads across the group when caregivers are present and reliable. Around the hearth, the baby hears culture before understanding words. Songs, warnings, jokes, stories, arguments. Childcare is not off to the side. It is in the middle of social life. Conversations happen over a baby being passed around. Stories told to children carry the memory of the group. The hearth, the baby, the talking. This is where culture is made. Nearby, older children play in mixed ages. Toddlers, cousins, sisters, boys near adolescence, girls carrying younger siblings. They copy work. They teach smaller children. They learn who is safe, who is bossy, who knows where the berries are. The modern classroom, where 20 children of the same age sit with one adult, is very recent. For most of human history, learning was mixed age, hands-on, and tied to real work. At night, the baby is close to bodies, maybe in a sling, maybe on a mat, maybe in a cradle board, hammock, or parent room, depending on culture. The exact system varies, and each one manages risk in its own way. But in many small-scale societies, babies spend far less time physically alone than many modern babies do. Held during the day, near caregivers at night. This is part of why babies, even now, often calm when held. Their nervous systems expect contact. That kind of day shaped human psychology. Babies can form important bonds with multiple caregivers when those caregivers are available. Mothers can sometimes have children more frequently when help is steady. A chimpanzee mother typically has a baby every 5 to 6 years, partly because she carries the infant constantly. A human mother in a supportive community could sometimes have a baby every 2 to 4 years. The village raised the child, and the village was made larger by it. But it was not all warmth. The reality of ancient childhood was also brutal in ways modern parents would find unbearable. Infant and child mortality were extremely high. Some cultures developed customs around delayed naming, delayed celebrations, or delayed full acceptance of a child until they had survived their first days, months, or years. This was not always coldness. It could be protection against an unbearable amount of grief. Some cultures also practiced what historians call selective infanticide. Babies born with severe disabilities, twins in cultures where twins were considered a danger, babies born during severe food shortages, babies whose mothers died in childbirth. In some times and places, these babies were not raised. This is hard to write and hard to read. It is also true in the historical and anthropological record. The pressures were real. The choices were terrible. Even babies who survived faced dangers we have largely eliminated. Childhood diseases that now end in a doctor's visit ended in a grave. Accidents, burns from cooking fires, drowning, falls from heights, were common. Children worked from a young age and suffered the injuries that come with that work. The combination, many hands of care, deep physical closeness, high mortality, early work, created a different relationship with children than modern parents typically have. Love was real. Grief was real. But every parent knew that some of their children would die, and the community helped absorb that knowledge. What modern parenting has lost is the village. Most modern parents in wealthy countries are doing the work of an extended family without the extended family. 1 or 2 adults trying to provide what used to be provided by 10 or 20. The result is what many modern parents describe: exhaustion, isolation, anxiety, the sense that something is wrong with them because the job feels impossibly hard. It is not wrong with them. The job is, in human historical terms, often set up wrong. The single-family home, the distant grandparents, the lack of mixed-age groups, the small support network, all of it works against the architecture that human babies and parents evolved within. We are doing an experiment. The experiment is not actually how humans have usually lived. If you are a parent and you are tired, consider this. You may be doing work that in many past communities was spread across several people. You are not failing. You may be under-supported. Those are different things. The baby in your arms is the same baby every human ancestor of yours held. The hands are fewer. The need is the same. The old system was not perfect or gentle, but it understood one thing clearly. A baby was never just one person's work. Parents, what was the most underrated help you ever got? Put it in the comments. Raising the baby took a group. Being born took one too.